Today is August 25th, 2023. It's episode 227 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, fondness and Shifter.
Welcome, everybody, to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Peter. With me, as always, is Quinton. We're in 2D form today.
We are.
You think they notice?
No, if you didn't say anything, no one would have said anything.
They wouldn't know.
It's pretty invisible.
We could just do like two rough, like if we got blocks of cheddar and we like carved our, images into the cheddar. Like, not great. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna say we're good at cheddar carving.
I wouldn't say that, but at the same time, I kind of want to see what it would look like if you carved our likeness in a block of cheese.
A block of cheese and just propped them up here for an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Might be our most listened to episode.
It'd be absolutely terrifying, but I would like to see this.
Cheddar chat. Curd nerds. Any more? Can we get any more of these? Feta friends. Monster mates. No.
I'm just gonna.
Gouda pals. I just gave Susan like 6 show titles.
Yeah, I feel like maybe. Anyway,
cheesy, right at the head of the show.
Oh no!
So we're doing chibis today. There's a reason. There may be some travel tomorrow. A different podcast, I would say, dare I say, far more successful podcast than ours, called Cox and Crendor, will be doing a live show tomorrow in Chicago, and producer Susan and I will be in attendance at Cox and Crendor Live tomorrow in Chicago. Now, I've listened to live Cox and Crendors, and they're pretty great. And I feel that we will get to. So one of the things is that the show, they placed the show earlier. Like normal, the past shows were like they started at 9 or 10 at night, and they went for like an hour and a half. But this time they're starting the show at 7 to end it at 9. So they're doing they're adding an extra half hour, but they're starting it earlier. Yeah, and one of the reasons was that they are doing it on a Saturday because they were doing it on Thursdays before, and everybody was like, everybody's like, well, let's go for a drink, and Jesse's like, well, I gotta get to my hotel and leave for the weekend. So this time they set it up for the weekend, so Jesse took time off, and there may be a point where at some point that Susan and I are drinking, having a beer, and talking with Jesse Cox. I'm just saying there's a possibility that will happen.
It's possible.
Because he mentioned going to a bar with everybody afterwards. So there is a hot chance. Yeah, there's a hot chance. Now, the question is, do you think he'll remember us? I have a feeling he will.
Definitely, I think if you bring up a few things, he'll remember it.
I think so, too.
Probably you more than Susan, because we were on the show with him more. Slightly.
Yeah, and I think he'll remember my beard, if anything.
That's true. Yeah.
I also think
that might do it.
I think also, if I remember, remind him that he hosted a Final Fantasy 14 Family Feud.
That might do it.
That might do it. So, I'm not saying we're going to become best friends, but I'm saying there's a chance. there's a chance.
Gotta do it.
So It's gonna be a good time. I'm gonna ignore the person walking in behind me.
Is there anything else that you're looking forward to in there?
Hey, well, it's just, hey, Susan, producer Susan, did you hear all the good cheese things I said earlier?
Oh,
I did hear them. I didn't write anything down. I'll listen again.
Susan said they're great. Get it? Great,
hear
great.
what she was saying.
Great, like, you can grate some cheese? No? Okay, well.
You can throw things at him, Susan.
She will. She's got
Good
hangers.
show. It's allowed.
Don't hit me with hangers. That's not good. So yeah, that's right. Poe the dog is coming with us. So he'll be fine. Like the hotel we're staying at is dog friendly, and we'll make sure that Poe's all tucked away in bed before we leave for the night. So
Poe does go to bed early, so
he does. So that's why we're not too worried. We'll let him. We'll just treat it like for him. The time we have to go and leave for the show is. His little dog brain will think it's time for him to sleep, so he'll be fine. And we're getting there early. We're gonna go to a specific restaurant that caters to dogs, or I shouldn't say caters to dogs, but they're chain. Menu. They have a dog menu, and they're called the Lazy Dog Cafe or Diner. I forget what it's called. Have you looked up the menu? Did Susan send it or post it in our Discord?
She did post it in the Discord. I haven't taken a look at it though.
You should. So there's a thing that they do. I didn't realize it. A friend of ours had mentioned this on their podcast. That he got frozen dinners from here, like TV dinners, because they make like in-house TV dinners, but they're like chef made, and they look so good. Like I know we're not a food podcast. I know shout out, that's
presumably not.
Yeah, Maelstrom Radio.
Just crossover.
But like TV dinner, barbecue meatloaf, fried skin mashers, brown gravy, garlic, butter, corn, peas, carrots, peanut butter cup brownie. Come on, peanut butter cup brownie. Come on, everything looks so good. Like everything looks so good. And the dog menu is pretty on point. Like small plates sound great. They make their own bacon candy, which is brown sugar, crushed red pepper, chili flakes, and pepper on bacon.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, they have cheddar cheese curds. Because it's the Midwest, so that makes sense. So they have crispy deviled eggs, lightly fried, topped with smoked paprika and bacon candy. So they take that bacon candy and put it on top, which it looks delightful. So it looks like they batter and crisp up the white part of the egg and then put the deviled part inside of that. And then it's kind of like a Scotch egg.
Okay,
yeah, okay.
I get behind this.
So am I. I was gonna say, not to say that I'm not a hard worker at work, but there was a moment the other day where myself and a fellow supervisor who sits next to me, him and I were looking at the menu, going back and forth like, that sounds great, that sounds great, that sounds delicious.
Like make one of these and these and these and about like 18 of these.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I like calamari. I know Susan doesn't, but they have wok fried calamari with plum sauce, peanuts, bell peppers, and steamed rice. That's a whole meal.
Yeah. Yeah.
They have goat cheese and pepper jelly, and it's with Cypress Grove goat cheese topped with our house-made Hatch chili and jalapeno pepper jelly, served with garlic parmesan crisps.
Yeah. Okay.
Mediterranean trio: hummus, spicy feta dip, and tabbouleh grains, veggies, and lavish garlic chips. Or lavash.
So many nut-related meals. Yes, because nuts are delicious.
Yeah, so many nut-related meals.
Yeah.
I mean, chili, you could have the... Oh, no, you can't. Nope, there's black beans in there. Sorry, bud.
Like, you can...
no, maybe not.
Yeah.
Wait. Crispy wings, celery, carrots with blue cheese, barbecue, plus high-altitude hot sauces.
Goat cheese.
There you go, chili.
Yeah, but it's also processed or made in a place that processes nuts, so it may not be completely safe.
That's true, but chili would risk it.
Yeah.
So the thing we're going for
That's
is...
also true.
So they do weekend brunch.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the
things...
things...
So you're going for brunch?
Yes, we are. And it's available Saturday and Sunday till 2 p.m. And One of the things they have that's new is called loaded donut holes. So they're made to order, drizzled with peanut butter, caramel, bacon candy, sliced bananas, and whipped cream.
All right.
I'm so behind their menu. It's so good. So they have DIY mimosas. One bottle of I don't even know how to say that. Frizinet sparkling wine plus 10 ounces of fresh squeezed orange juice. Oh, DIY peach bellinis. Anyway,
you're just like, ooh, we're gonna do one of these,
yeah,
one of these,
one of these. But also, the TV dinners you could order, like they come frozen, and I almost want to do that before we leave because it's like you get for $50, you get
Just grab a couple.
Well, you get one for free when you get the $50 one, so you get 6 meals for $50, and I was like, that's a solid deal.
That's $8 a meal is pretty good.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
Again, not sound bites, but anyway.
There's crossover episodes.
Oh no, I clicked on the sweet tooth menu, and I don't.
Why would you do that?
Because it looks so good. Triple chocolate mousse, house-made chocolate mousse layered with crunchy churro waffle flakes, chocolate sauce, chocolate chips, and whipped cream. Oh boy, apple huckleberry open face pie. Oh my god.
I feel like you need to close the browser tab. Just close it.
I didn't leave. Anyway, so
I haven't eaten dinner tonight, so I'm still hungry.
Well, anyway, there we go. That's what we're gonna be doing. I'm sure there's gonna be. I was advised to go to Susan. The one of the managers advised me to go to a Korean K-pop bar because Saturday night is Latin night. So, you know.
All right then.
Why not?
Chili, I'm also interested to see what your chips taste like.
Me too. I'm also curious. And speaking, for Final Fantasy 14, we're that's what we do here. Final Fantasy 14, Chris, and Chili could probably answer this because I didn't do so much research. Are they Square? They're not Square Enix based chips, right? They're like a company that's collaborating with Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, I don't think Square Enix makes a lot of their stuff.
But are they selling it on the Final?
They're a game company / publisher. I don't think.
Yeah, it's a company collab.
Food.
Well, I mean, Final Fantasy 14 collabed with Mrs. Freshly's here in the States to make.
Yeah, but that was still a collab.
Yeah, but
it's still collaborated.
I would probably rather have the potato chips. It's not sold in the SE store. Okay. I mean, the bags look better than the Mrs. Freshly's Final Fantasy 14 bags we got here. It was like, here's a terribly not healthy sticky bun for you. Also, enjoy fun. I don't think there was. Did you have to eat that for something? I forget. They had to eat it for something. I think like a black chocobo or something like that.
For what?
They gave you a mount.
Oh.
At least here in the States. I don't know. Chili, do you get anything with those potato chips or just potato chips? Or crisps?
Sometimes a potato chip is just a potato chip.
Sometimes that's all you get. Well, Chili answers that question. So what do you've been playing Guild Wars 2, the expansion dropped this week.
I maybe have, yeah.
Have you been playing the expansion itself?
I've been playing it a little bit. I don't know how long it is, but making an educated guess, I would say it's about 10 chapters because there's what is it? A quarterly objective. They have dailies and weeklies and now quarterly things. So the quarterly objective is to complete chapter 10. So I'm assuming that's probably the whole thing.
Okay.
I'm just at the beginning of chapter 5, so I'm about halfway through.
That's not bad.
No, I haven't been playing it a whole lot. I haven't really been going hard on playing it. It's not a super long story. Like it's probably been a few hours of playing. Some of it repetitive, some of it's not bad. The story's kind of interesting. Lore-wise, it's definitely going some places.
Okay.
I think I do really. I can't wait until the day that you are to this point because there are definitely things in this expansion that I think you would really enjoy.
I like that.
But one of the things that they were really big on is that like this is a new story, kind of like Final Fantasy, where It's kind of like, this is a new story. You could drop in yourself at 7.0 and not pay attention to anything beforehand. I don't know if they were quite as adamant about doing that, but this is like the next step after the Dragon Saga. So in theory, you might be able to do that, but at the same time, playing through it, like there's a lot of callbacks to previous things, and I feel if you jumped in right at this expansion, you would probably miss a lot.
Right.
So it's definitely not one I would suggest, like, hey, hop forward, do all of this stuff, and then go back and do other things. Because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, and it's really cool, but context is great. But other than that, I've been doing a lot of World vs. World still. Made my 4th legendary, preparing to make my 5th. The next armor piece I can make is still about 5 weeks away, so no luck on that one. But I did plan to get some other stuff, so I should be able to make that one before the next 5 weeks. And just trying to check out some more of the PvE content, the group content. So find out all the new things that I haven't done, even though I've been playing this game for 11 years. I've been in this game for 11 years, not quite playing. That's, yeah.
I know Susan and I had a difficult time with the one of the stories got bugged. The character got locked.
Excessively difficult time.
Yeah, and we just had to back out of the entire quest to get it to reset. We thought we could reset it by dying and going back to the previous checkpoint, but that did not. It was just bad times. So hopefully once we get through the last bit of the story, I think we kind of talked about it a little bit behind the scenes. So here's some, not to ruin the magic, but probably, I think a lot of it.
It's like Disney now. Everyone, it's just no.
I think we will try to finish. I think some, this part of Guild Wars 2. I think the rest of it, I think Susan and I are going to enjoy at our pace, which may be faster than what we can do on stream.
I hope so.
Because then we could play it more often, and we're not saving it for content. Which really, Guild Wars 2 wasn't supposed to be for content for us anyway. So, every once in a while, like hop in, do a jumping puzzle, have some goofs, do that. But we're both 80. I don't know what my gear situation is. It's probably not great.
We're gonna follow up on that when you're next back and around.
Yeah. But that doesn't mean other things aren't content. So you and I had a D&D campaign which came to an end. I think we have one last. We have to figure out the timing when everybody can meet up. It's kind of sounds like everybody's got something going on during every other day of the week.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So we just have to make time for it to finish out our campaign. But it sounds like you, myself, Heals You, and Susan are kind of starting our. We're using Baldur's Gate 3 as our new D&D campaign of sorts. Like the DM is the game.
That's kind of true.
And so
our DM actually gets to play this time.
Yeah, our DM gets to play, and the game itself is the DM, which honestly, I'm kind of down for it. I kind of like that. Like the game is the DM. We're playing through the world. And it still feels like D&D, right? Like we feel like we've made some choices and things have happened.
Yep, that's accurate. We have in fact done that.
And sometimes a vampire bites one of you, so
sometimes you just
yeah. And I think that Baldur's Gate 3 I think is worth the praise it's getting. I mean, have you heard? I mean, I'm sure you've heard some of the discourse somewhere about how devs are saying that they're pretty mad at Baldur's Gate 3. Like that gamers should set their expectations to not expect that from other games.
I mean, yeah, I've heard a little bit of that. I don't necessarily agree.
I don't agree with it either. I mean, if you launch a game, like I'm not saying Baldur's Gate 3 has been released without bugs, not at all.
it's got bugs. Like we've experienced some weird stuff on our end as well. But the game launched, it's pretty polished, and there's no I have to buy DLC or there's no microtransactions. And it's just here you go. It's got an ending. It's got hundreds of hours worth of dialogue and choices you can make, and every spell and every action you do may have a consequence later on. We aren't sure, but here you go. And I kind of like that other game devs are just mad. just so mad. They're just like, hey, stop that. Like that's not what we're doing. We buy our tchotchkes. Buy our in-game tchotchkes.
Please. Yeah, no, I don't think necessarily that it's a bad thing. Like, yes, gamers should not hold other games to that level of polish unless the game is saying that it is to that level of polish.
Yeah, to that polish, yeah.
Right? Like, if you're saying, yes, this is the best game ever and we're going to have all the options and all of the everything, like, yeah, you better live up to your hype, but just temper your audience.
Uh-huh.
Right? You don't oversell your game again.
I also think it says a lot about that I think us as gamers, right? We're maybe a little burnt out with microtransaction shops and like you have to wait to the DLC to finish the game or something, like just I don't mind DLC. Like, let me have my game, and then like if there's a new storyline with extra stuff, like if Baldur's Gate 3 in a year and a half or 2 years, it was like, hey, we're gonna add a new storyline, and it's it's gonna be like $20, $30, $40, but whatever. And it's going to be like a 20-hour campaign or a 40-hour campaign. Yeah, okay, I'll buy it because it's adding something new.
Well, so, I mean, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a super long campaign. Like, you add 5 hours of content, let's say. Sure, buy that as DLC. Like, it's you price as what people are going to be willing to pay for.
Yeah, like,
and that's it.
Yeah, their world is set up so nicely that they could sell campaigns built in that world. I wonder. I wonder if in a year or two if they'll have.
Depends how the engine is set up now.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I wonder if they'll have the ability to do like DM run stuff in that world. If they'll release tools to let people build things in that world, because then that would be crazy.
That would be. I feel like that would be a lot harder to try to convince people. Yes. Like. People would 100% do it, but the game hasn't really been set up for that.
To our knowledge.
What I could see is what I could see with this is they have the engine and they have the game made, but the game might not necessarily be built for that purpose. But they've seen the way that people have reacted to it and that it's really, really good. They could take that base, that foundation they've built, and generalize it into an engine that could do that and release like a Baldur's Gate build your own campaign thing.
They did that with their other game. I forgot the name of it. Sorry.
Like, you wouldn't necessarily play it in Baldur's Gate, but it's like, here, you can go build your own campaign. Here's all the tools.
Was it Divinity Original Sin 2? Is there other?
Yep.
And so
yeah, that's the other big one.
Like Divinity Original Sin 2, I believe had a DM mode where I believe I'll have to double check that. Double check that. But it was released much later, like
yeah.
DM mode.
I don't think this is something that we're going to see anytime soon necessarily. It's something that will probably take a while for them to set up. It wouldn't surprise me if they went that direction.
What was that?
was what?
I heard "oh my god" in the background.
Oh, I do have my window open, but I also have sound dampening headphones, so I can't hear anything. That's probably from outside.
That "oh my god" was so loud. Like, it was, as soon as you said it's gonna be a while till we might see that, somebody was like, "Oh my god!"
We got timing down then.
It's got it perfect. They were shocked.
Mhm.
So I mean, they worked it with their Game Master mode for which I did have. It was called Game Master mode, so I could see it if they already have that tech, that tech already. If they use the same basis from their last games for this game, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll just wait and see.
Yeah, it'll
Chil-
be interesting to see what they do with it.
Chili said that he wishes Baldur's Gate 3 had microtransactions that it sold dice, and I don't agree with that.
No, I also don't agree with that.
And then Dr. Delicious has said Baldur's Gate 3 loot box dice skins barf. So I don't think Larian's in the habit of doing microtransaction loot box skins, so yeah. You I know you have your window open, but whoever's talking outside your window is super loud. They are super loud. Just heads up.
Hopefully not a problem now.
Yeah, just in case they say something that may not be. They're getting they're because that, oh my god, was so loud. Yeah, so I think all in all, like Chili says, I know Paul's had some few game breaking bugs in Baldur's Gate 3, including one that wouldn't let him revive a teammate. Yeah, we know there's bugs. I'm not gonna say like the game is like perfect by any means, but
that game is perfect.
The game is the game is so good. I mean, I like that Larian is very like upfront. I think the difference between this and like a game, that is, like that, let's say is like, hey, we're launching this game and it's going to be done, and then you play it and it's clearly not done. The difference I think between the two is that I feel like this game is done and there's stuff that we're just discovering that they may have not picked out during their bug testing, right? Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's, let's keep it a healthy, like, they also did early access, and I think that helped. And Susan, did you see in chat that Susan redeemed my message got overlooked? Scroll back.
No, I did see it. I was holding on to it because it's a whole different topic. I did want to.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. I thought she said something else about microtransactions. No, I got that in my back pocket, Susan. Don't worry.
Yeah. And yeah, Susan did get bitten by the vampire man.
Yeah,
It was a very important thing. You gotta go watch the VOD for that.
Yeah, go watch the VOD. I don't think we should ruin it. We should let them go watch the VOD. It did happen. But go watch the VOD. It is.
Yeah.
We're gonna undersell it so we can oversell it on the VOD. We're underselling it here, but go oversell it on the VOD. Go watch the VOD. It's a much better.
There you go.
So, yeah, I think the four of us are clearly enjoying Baldur's Gate 3. I think I think we're just having fun. I think we're not even out of like the starting area. Like we're like much like
that's true.
Normal D&D. We're barely scratching the surface and still understanding what we're doing, but I'm having fun. We made a dog friend, and I got to give Larian Studios credit. Like they did it well, and I think other no offense, but other studios should take some note. Like, maybe put some effort. They'll put a little effort. I'm not saying you don't put effort in, but put a little extra effort.
I think it also depends on the type of game. Like most games aren't going to be like this. As much as people are like, "Oh yeah, we got to have this. It's got to everything perfect." No. Your game's not going to. Your game doesn't need all of this.
But also, I think other studios are working on some teams are working on different things. Like Larian just does this type of game.
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Like you only want focus on the type of game. It's not like you're going to get something like a Grand Theft Auto or a Mirror's Edge or an MMO that's going to have the same level of attention to detail as Baldur's Gate does. right? Like it doesn't make sense for those types of games. Even like what was that other one that you played? Control or stuff like that, right? Like you can still have really good games without all that level of detail because that's not the type of game that it is.
It's not.
Right? If you're gonna make a D&D style game, yes, you now have a new bar to hit.
Yep. But if you're making, if you make Control, you're also the same company that makes, Alan Wake. So you're gonna make good games. And they're gonna be weird, and I'm gonna love it. They're gonna be so weird. Chili says different type of detail, but Rockstar games are pretty good. I agree. I think Rockstar makes solid game. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2. What a fun! That is a fun game. So much to do in that game. Like you can go hunting, fishing. You can survive the wilds. You can go catch bandits out in the middle of nowhere. You can. Like, there's so much to do in Red Dead Redemption 2, and it's gorgeous, and it's just if you just love westerns, like that is like playing the best version of what's that robot show on HBO? The androids? No. Westworld. It's like Westworld, but less. There's less weird. Do robots have feelings? So the robots that have AI have feelings. So that's a different topic. So so we were also so let's roll into some Final Fantasy 14 talk. So Final Fantasy 14.
Hold on before we do that. I wanted to swap back to Susan's comment.
Okay, about the
we haven't talked about D&D and stuff.
Okay. Go ahead.
So Susan was asking, would you stream your final D&D session on Twitch since 3 of the 5 people are already streaming on Twitch that night? And I'm sure Paul and Chili could easily be convinced. I don't know. Like, I don't think there's anything saying that we can't do it, but at the same time, I don't know if I would want to.
Me either, right? Because it's something we've been doing for a little over 2 years now.
Yeah.
And to do the last thing that kind of wraps up the story seems, I think, while yes, we could do it easily, like I think everyone would easily be on board for it. I think the problem, maybe Quinton agrees with me, is that for other people, there's no connection to their characters that we've had for 2 years. And I feel like there's a lot of backstory and nuance that just gets lost if we just like, hey, it's over. Like, I think the ending should be for us, and then we can go have a retrospective on all the things we've done. Versus like sharing that ending and people being like, oh, okay, well, who's born and who's Ribbo and what do they mean? But
and I think too, like it's something that we haven't done. Like we're not doing this for content. We're doing this for ourselves because we enjoy doing it. Now, I think we could discuss about it and our experiences on it, but I don't think that it's something that we really want. Like this is for us.
Yeah, it was played, I think, definitely for us. We've mentioned it before, but it was something we did off stream and not for content. We did it for fun. Baldur's Gate 3 is still for fun, I think, for us, but it's also just we're doing it for content as well. So there's a little mix of the two.
Well, that one we're definitely doing for content. Otherwise, we would be playing solo as well.
Yeah,
a whole other thing.
So, I think it'll mean more for us and our characters and what we've been through to finally end the story. Will we ever do D&D as a stream? I won't say no. I think we've talked about it doing a one shot before. I'm not going to spoil it or tell anybody what it is, but because I don't like I don't want to put it out there and then us not do it. Like I know we want to do it. The willingness to do it is there. The time has to happen. That's really what it is. And it has to just line up with everybody. But the willingness is there, and it would be fun. I think it would be a fantastic time to do it. So,
it would be a time. Yes,
it would be a time. So Chili and Dr. Delicious are talking about Elder Scrolls in chat.
Yeah.
And Dr. Delicious says 19 years, but it seems like a reasonable cycle between numbered titles. I think they've been busy working on Starfield. I think once Starfield's done, I think we'll see more about Elder Scrolls.
I think I think they have been busy working on the next remaster of Skyrim.
No, they are working. There's a rumored remaster for Oblivion, believe it or not. And I'm okay with that.
They finally got done with they can't do any more with Skyrim. They had to switch it up.
Well, Oblivion was such a good game. Oblivion was so good.
That's fair.
And Fallout 2. Yeah, not Fallout 2, the number 2, but Fallout as well. But I think Elder Scrolls 6 needs to happen because, one, it's their bread and butter, and two, a lot of people really care about the Elder Scrolls series. There's a lot of lore in that game and a lot of weird stuff, and people kind of like the freedom in it. And if they add the polish and amount of, people that they've had to do testing on Starfield to Elder Scrolls, I think it'll be fine. Do I think that the game is going to be bugless? No. I do not think that. I'm putting that out there. I don't think. Well, it's like saying, "Hey, every game's gonna be bug free." That doesn't, Yeah. Come on. Every game.
Again, this is Bethesda we're talking about.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they clearly, like, Microsoft said, "Hey, we're gonna give you a whole team just dedicated to testing this game, like a whole studio dedicated to testing Starfield because it's a massive on-taking, and we really wanted to hit it out of the park." From what I've seen and what people have seen at Gamescom, by the way, Gamescom happened this week. It's still going on, by the way. Starfield looks good. A lot of people were really impressed with the what they've seen, like the first 45 minutes of the game. Like, they said character creator is great, and like, it still had like Skyrim-y type like facial animations, which that's their bread and butter. I wouldn't not expect that at this point. But they said like it had like really slick gunplay, and like the worlds looked very, like, they said stunning. Like, the words were like, the planets looked stunning. Like, the art is stunning. The worlds are stunning. They put a lot of attention to building the universe. And I think that's what's going to really sell this game. Like, if they can really build a true galaxy and make it look like, hey, there's going to be planets that are not habitable and planets that are, and what does that look like? I think the game's going to do well. I think a lot of people want that kind of game, and I'm here for it. I have Game Pass. I get to play it either way. So, woo!
I mean, it works out nicely.
And to me, guess what? That's going to be the game that you probably won't see me do content on, because it's going to be for me. So
yeah, exactly.
That's going to be for me. I stream it in Discord every once in a while just for funsies, maybe, but you're not going to see me throw up the old Twitch and stream that game. But I may throw it up in Discord, and like everybody can hang out with me while I figure out my life and how to like put buckets on people's heads and see if I can steal things. So,
because why not?
Just why not? And also, I don't want to spoil things. By the way, it's in here. Yeah, you got any thoughts about spoilers? Like the topic of spoilers? Do you think people should spoil things for others? I don't think so.
I'm on team please don't spoil.
Yeah, I think, especially with like playing through Final Fantasy 14, we're like the community's big about like, you know, not spoiling the game for people and the storyline. And I think that's true for games like Elder Scrolls and games like Starfield and games like Baldur's Gate 3, especially if I know Baldur's Gate 3 has 1,000 million options for things like, but still, like, there's gonna be some story beats, I'm assuming, that are a constant, right? Like some things are now how you interact with that story beat and the aftermath of said thing might be different, but I'm assuming same intro, same area, what you do within those areas is going to be different, and that'll be different. But you know, some of the hardier moments will probably be the same. So, yeah. So don't be a jerk about. Don't do that. Don't do it. Speaking of Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy 14 is in Fall Guys. It started this week. Susan got all the things, or I shouldn't say she got all the things. She bought the thing to get all the things. She bought the Fall Guys pass, the fall pass, fall card.
All right.
And I need to get in there because I do like Fall Guys. I have been playing a match here or there every once in a while. Like sometimes it's like a thing I do before bed, and I play like a couple rounds of Fall Guys, and I saunter off to bed.
How are you doing with it?
Fall Guys itself,
Yeah.
not bad. Like I've gotten to. I won the very last episode? No. Have I gotten to it? Yes.
Okay.
Chili says you still need to grind the pass to get stuff unless you buy everything. I don't feel like it's hard. It's hard to grind the Fall Guys pass though, right? No. Like I always feel like their passes are pretty lenient.
It's at least for Fall Guys, it's just extremely time consuming. Like I do not like battle passes in general. I like the concept behind them in terms of like they get you to do things, but I don't like how they've been implemented because they're very predatory, especially if you can buy the bypass levels.
Yeah. Dr. Delicious says I've been anti-spoiler since my uncle spoiled the end of Lord of the Rings when I was 7, and I was talking to him about having just finished reading The Hobbit. Oh man, that sucks. That bites. And it's not I had like that hurts. Did you get him with Harry Potter? Did you get him with that one? Dumbledore.
Oh no.
He died. What? Shelly says, I like how Wayfinder is doing Battle Pass. You buy it, and even when season ends, you keep it.
Yep, but see, you have to buy things.
You have to buy the Battle Pass.
You're buying something, or you're having to grind through something in order to get a thing.
Here's my question. If I get to keep the Battle Pass and they release a second Battle Pass and I buy that Battle Pass, right? Does my grinding of said Battle Pass count for both Battle Passes? Now, if it does, great. They're doing it right?
And it's not really a Battle Pass. You're just buying like, hey, come look at this. This is my...
I'm eventually going to lock all my trinkets. Yeah, I'm going to... No idea yet. They've only had one.
Yeah.
So that tells me that that they're probably, when they release the second one, it's going to give you the option of you get to choose one of these. Congratulations, and focus on that one. Which is fine, I guess. Like, I mean, it would be cool if they said, hey, you get to just, if you have a Battle Pass, get all the things. I don't want to say. I think New World is doing something like a Battle Pass, but it's not a it's like, I don't know. I gotta go look it up. I don't want to say it's a Battle Pass. So
yeah. I mean, to be fair, Guild Wars did just implement effectively a Battle Pass system.
Yeah.
But it is one of the better ones that I've seen because there's no pay to win. You can't buy stuff from it. This is the replacement for the daily system, by the way.
Yeah.
You can do your quarterly, your weekly, and your daily things to get points. and you can use those points to buy whatever rewards you want. And at the end of it all, when the whole thing resets, all of the rewards from that just go into a legacy area, and you can still get them. Like, there's nothing stopping you from going back and getting it. So it's not really even a battle pass in that sense, but like it feels kind of similar, but there's nothing predatory on it.
Fair. So New World has a season pass, so I guess it is a battle pass, but I'm not sure how it works. Like you get a long time to do it. But I just don't know how you. I just don't know if you're just doing stuff in the world. I maybe it works like the one in. I mean, there's free and premium, so clearly you have to buy the premium one if you want the other stuff. But the free one doesn't look bad. Like, it seems like you get roughly the same sort of stuff. I think the only difference is that the premium one has like a special, like a weapon skin that you might want, but like not needed, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's cool that it's there. Like, they don't charge a monthly fee, so if this is how they get some money flowing into the game, then good for them. Like, what do I care? I'm not charging a monthly pass, and you don't have to buy it, so I'm okay with that. Just like I'm okay with Guild Wars. World of Warcraft has it's not a battle pass. I shouldn't compare it. It's really not. They do like a monthly trader post. So, and it's not a battle pass. There's no pass. So
I would say the thing is that there shouldn't be any fear of missing out, no FOMO. Right? If you don't get to the battle pass that day, that week, that month, whenever, you're not going to lose out on anything. It might take you a little bit longer to grind the rewards because you didn't log in, but you're still going to be able to get access to all of that.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, a major component of it is that a lot of battle passes force you to log in every single day so that you can get the things that you want. And if you don't, then you're out of luck at the end of it.
Yeah.
And at that, I think, is the predatory design failure.
It is. Yeah. The World of Warcraft one, it shouldn't even compare, because it's truly not a battle pass. It really isn't. It's a trader post, and you get this tender called Trader Tender that you use to trade in for items you might want, mounts or whatever. Now, and the things rotate in and out. So like there was a weapon that on the very first trader, when they first launched it, showed up, and it showed up again during August, right? So it was like a flaming flail, and it showed up again.
Okay.
So
I'm not a fan of the whole rotating thing, but
I think they did that just because you can lock in like one item. So like, let's say if you used all your money on, or your tenders on everything else, and there was one item that you wanted, you could save it, and you can pay for it the following month, because they give you a limited amount of tenders, right? Because they don't want you.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
like you can't get
as opposed
everything.
to rotating, just like have it always available once it's available.
Yeah, but
right,
they rotated in and out, because
if you don't happen to log in during the next rotation, like again, that's making you log in during a specific time.
Yeah. But they seem to be bringing a lot of it back more often. Like, it seems to be, hey, here it is again. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I've seen a few of these already. So, yeah. Doctors, listen. Life is just a series of limited amounts of tenders. Not wrong.
I don't know.
So
my favorite tender is chicken, though. So
yeah. Oh, people do call them trader tendies. So, that's fair enough. And then, of course, I gotta shout out Guild Wars 2 and Baldur's Gate 3, because when I looked, and I can go look again really quick. The last I saw, the Baldur's Gate was one of the highest watched games out there. And Guild Wars 2. Gotta throw him some cred. High view count for Guild Wars 2. Good for them.
I mean, again, they just launched an expansion.
They sure did.
So that kind of does it.
It does it, but still.
And they have had drops. which required you to watch for like what 6, 7, 8, like almost like 8 to 10 hours.
But I got my drops. I got it.
Yeah, like it's a long time that you have to watch. Like that drives up numbers pretty quickly.
It do be driving up numbers. It do be driving.
Yeah.
So I gotta give him some credit. I do like watching. I love watching the hype around. The Guild Wars 2 community is crazy, like in a good way. Like
Yeah, they're pretty friendly.
they're
As
they sort of remind me of the Elder Scrolls Online community, like super positive and like
Mhm.
willing to help people and teach them things, and like I feel like out of the two out of the MMO communities I've seen so far, Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online have no like. Not to say that Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft and other MMOs don't have those people in them, but majority of the people I've seen in Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online, there's people that stream Guild Wars 2 and Elder Scrolls Online on like Fridays that do nothing but help people, teach them how to raid, or teach them like help them run fractals, and or teach them how to do PvP in those games. And I'm here for it. Like I love watching that. They're like, hey, you don't even have to be good. Like my favorite is like Madigon for Elder Scrolls Online. He's like, you don't even have to be like best in slot. Like just come, just be a body, and we will walk you through it, right? Like we'll get you the title and the mount or whatever, and we'll teach you, So I'm so down for that. So it's slick as hell. It's slick. It's like, and Chili says, I mean, folk like Rin does that. Like he does. I'm not saying he doesn't. But I'm saying there are folk like Rin, but I see more of that
there are multiple discords for each of those communities that have multiple people that do it, just do that.
Just do that.
I'm in multiple discords and learning how to raid. I haven't talked to any of them or done anything with them, but I am in multiple of them. There's a very different community.
Yeah.
It's much less gatekeepy. There are still people that will gatekeep. World versus World is incredibly bad for this.
Yeah.
But there is also a huge part of the community that is very open and welcoming.
I wonder also if it has to do with like the gear styles for both those games. So they're sort of similar in the aspect of like, I know Guild Wars 2 is like whatever, once you have best in slot, you're best in slot for life, right? Or like they very like you
pretty
might
much.
And then ESO is pretty much the same thing. Like every new expansion they may have like a new gear item that may change how you play. Right, like it may change up like a style, or like, oh, that might be better for that may eke out some extra DPS for me, or I'm gonna like there was a ring that they put out in this last expansion that allowed you not to do the weapon swap. So Guild Wars 2 ESO both do a weapon swap, right?
Yep.
ESO, it allowed you not to do that weapon swap, but it buffed your main bar, like it gave you more DPS if you didn't have a weapon. And that made sense. And like there were some people that are like Madigon was like, hey, I'm an old man now. he's like arthritis is real. So he's like, if I just have to focus on one weapon that doesn't like hurt my hands.
Granted, like there's definitely things you can do in Guild Wars 2 to help that. It does help to have be able to use multiple weapons, but there are people who will focus and make builds specifically, and you can look these up. They're called low intensity builds or ally builds, and they're not going to be the best build by far, but they generally are made so that they are low intensity for people that can't do that. Most of them have different rotations, different levels of rotations between like 1 and 3 buttons, kind of thing. I have seen there are 2 rotations that I've seen. One is 1 button press, and the other one is 0 button presses, and those are definitely the easiest rotations that I have seen. A lot of the stuff is gear dependent, but to not press buttons and be able to clear most content is still reasonable.
Yeah.
It's neat.
It is. Also, right now, if you are a multi MMO player out there, and you are, if you Guild Wars 2 base game is free. You can go get some drops right now. So maybe go watch Rook. Rook is a Guild Wars 2 partner. Go watch Rook.
Yep.
Rook has been streaming the expansion, so go get your drops. It's an option. Get a finisher. So you know how I got my first finisher and I was like, which one I should get, and you're like, you got to get that llama.
Yep.
And I did.
Yep.
And I was
Also
torn,
did.
and I was torn between the llama and the 8-bit bomb.
Yep.
I got both now.
I got the unicorn.
I love. Well, I'm not gonna lie. The unicorn. I almost got the unicorn as well.
But I do have to say that like you only can have one equipped at a time unless you randomize it, and there's nothing better than killing an opponent in World versus World and downing them and finishing them off and just having the llama with that music play.
Oh, the llama's too good. I know, but I also like I love the simple pleasures of the 8-bit bomb. Just the and just the mushroom, like 8-bit mushroom cloud. So, well, I think we did it.
Yeah.
I think we did it. Look at us. Sometimes when there's nothing to do in Final Fantasy 14, Quinton and I will just be friends and talk about things, and that's okay. So, we'll report back on the next episode of Maelstrom Radio. Did Susan and Peter meet Jesse Cox? Did we become best friends? We'll find out.
Next time on
Maelstrom Radio. So, if you want, by the way, if you want to see what weekly, speaking of Maelstrom Radio, if you want to see what weekly content we're doing here on the channel, you look for our schedule. It's on Twitter, Tumblr, and Discord, so you can find out what we're doing. Our September podcast recordings will be September 8th and the 22nd. You can find our VODs on YouTube. So, like, if you want to see, the Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, I would say, go check it out. Go check that out. Chili has one last food thing. He says they're selling official Final Fantasy 14 tea.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't think I would want to buy it, but at the same time, I am curious.
I am curious as well. Like, what's well, I typed T in, and that didn't really do me any flavor. Because I got the Epic of Alexander, which is known as T. Well, that didn't help me.
That's a little bit challenging.
Damn it. They're gonna have to figure that out. You linked it in Maelstrom? All right, well. Teas. Well, nope, I got a Dodgy of teas, which not a sponsor, but hey, if you want some loose leaf tea, a Dodgy is not bad. So, well, thank you, everybody. Go check out our Discord find us all there. Go watch Baldur's Gate 3. The VODs are doing pretty okay. I think people are going in and watching our shenanigans. They may not catch them live, but they are going back and watching them. So, go check out our shenanigans. See if we've been lucky. I don't think we haven't died fully. There has not been a TPK. Total party kill.
No, there have been a death.
There's been a death, but
in the party, there's been multiple deaths.
They got
better.
Of the party. They got better. It's fine.
They did.
Yeah, that's fine. They're okay. So, we might have to get more scrolls to revivify, but it's fine. I hope that's a thing we can buy. Is that in the microtransaction shop? All right. Well, thank you everybody for hanging out. We appreciate you listening. Don't forget, share this with your grandmother, who will share this with her other friends. And then she will tell you to be more like us. So, because we're good boys, and they want you to be good as well. So, as always, remember, till sea swallows all. Keep listening.